Hi, welcome to installing Windows 3.1. Before we get started, make sure you download all of your DOS disk into a folder on somewhere it's easy to find. I choose my desktop. Desktop is easiest. Make sure you download the boot disk and the Windows ISO as well into the same folder and open up your VMware. We're going to choose a new virtual machine. And we're going to do a typical installation and install the operating system later. Select Other, and then go to the drop-down box and select MS-DOS. Name your machine. Windows 3.1 will work. Set your disk capacity to 0.500. Doesn't need much, so just put that in there. You're ready to create. And now we need to customize hardware. We're going to point the machine to the floppy. So we need to go to the floppy. Highlight the floppy device, and then we are going to browse for it by using the floppy image file. Then you'll hit Browse, and you go to wherever you put your files, which would, like I said, was on the disk, a desktop. You'll want disk 1, and if you don't see disk 1, you'll need to choose all files to display. Click on your disk, tell it to open, and verify that the disk is in the floppy image file slot and that you are connect at power on is checked. You'll need to finish on the next window, which is ready to create virtual machine. So we're going to reset the virtual machine by right-clicking on the name of the machine and pressing Reset. Then you'll want to click on the window when it's done rebooting and press any key to continue. This will allow you to be able to work into the machine when you click in the window. Then I'll ask you to initialize. You tell it yes, you want to initialize. We can create a partition by pressing 1. And then we're going to create a primary DOS partition by pressing 1 again. We're going to use all cylinders by pressing Y. Then you need to choose whether or not you want to verify your data. I chose yes, but you can choose no. I believe it's a little faster if you don't. Make sure you label your disk. You can use your name, your initials, your dog's name, whatever. And then hit enter, and then you'll want to press Control and Alt at the same time. This releases your cursor from the VMware, and you'll need to use that a lot. So you're going to go and reset your machine now. You can either reset it by right-clicking and going down to Reset, or pressing the circle of green and yellow arrows at the top. It'll ask you if you want to continue installation. You click inside the white window and hit enter. That'll tell it keep going. Accept the license agreement by hitting enter, and then you'll need to type in your name again. Then enter, and now for the next several screens, all you'll need to hit is enter, 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 enter. It'll go through screens until it starts installing disk 1, and you'll see that by a gray area scrolling through information, data. Alright, then I'll ask for disk 2. So you'll Control Alt out, and then you'll right-click on your Windows 3 machine, 3.1 machine, go down to Settings, that's the bottom of the list. Then you'll go to Customize Hardware when it pulls up the list on your machine. You'll want to go to the floppy, and you're going to exchange disk 1 for disk 2 by hitting Browse, finding your file, folder, and clicking on disk 2, all files. If you can't see it, check for all files. Then you'll click on OK, and then go back into your machine by clicking inside of the white part of the window, and then you'll hit enter. This will install disk 2. Then you'll repeat the same process for disks 3, 4, and 5. Go into settings, and then you'll have one more time. Well, you'll want to do that Go back to settings. After it says installation is complete, you'll want to go back into your settings and change your floppy to boot disk. So you'll want to browse for that and then change that boot disk. Okay, now you're going to reset your machine and boot to CD support. Now at the prompt, after it loads, you'll need to type in C:, to change the drive. Then you'll want to edit the config.sys file. So when you enter this, enter it just as you see with a space between edit and config. You hit, when the editor comes up, you'll hit Alt and then Escape, and this will bring you into the body of the file. And you'll want to arrow over, use your arrow keys to arrow over to the last letter in the very first line. And you'll want to put exclude equals E000.EFF. Then you'll want to hit Alt again, arrow down, and save. You'll make sure it's on save and hit enter. Then hit Alt again and arrow down to exit and then hit enter again. Now we need to disconnect the boot disk from the floppy. So go Control Alt, get out of your VMware, then you'll right click on your machine, then you'll go down to settings, you'll go to floppy, then you'll browse. Oh, well, you won't need to browse. You'll actually just want to disconnect. In other words, you will uncheck the connected and connected power on. If you uncheck that, that's all you need to do to disconnect your floppy drive. And you're going to reset the machine after you finish and boot it back up. And when it boots up, if you type in dir, it'll show you your directory. So now we need to make a directory and type in md win31. This will make the directory of win31, and then we're going to go back into settings. So you'll want to customize your hardware, and now we're going to tell it what CD to boot to and what floppy. So go in like you would for the floppy, reconnect the floppy, just check connected and connect power on, and then go up one step up to the CD or DVD drive, and you'll use the file, CD file, browse for your ISO, make sure it's in the slot like the discs were for the floppy, but make sure that this is the ISO for the CD. Reset it. When it's done booting again, we are going to copy all the files. So we need to type this line right here into it. So it can copy all the files. Then you'll need to disconnect the floppy. So Control Alt out, and then settings, and uncheck connected and connect that power on. Then you'll reset your machine again. Then when it's done loading, at the prompt, type in change directory win31. Hit enter, and then when it pulls it up, you'll want to type in setup and then enter. And then when the setup window goes through, you'll see Express Setup or Custom. You'll choose Express. Then you'll have to type your name in again and hit Continue on there. You're not going to have a printer attached, so just leave it as it is and hit Install. And then I'll ask about the MS-DOS editor. Tell it OK. And you can do a tutorial if you'd like, otherwise, but you want to reboot it. So just skip the tutorial and then reboot. And then at the prompt, change your directory to Windows. Just like this. Change CD Windows, then at the prompt for Windows, put CD ... enter. Then in the next line, you'll want to put in edit autoexec.bat. then enter. And when that comes in, it'll pull open another window that will look like this. So you'll want to move the cursor. Alt again to go into it. Just click inside. Alt again. Go down into the last part, the last line, and go underneath it. Put in your C : \Windows, and then type in the next line on the following line. Then make sure to save, and then you want to exit. Now you're going to reset your machine again. This time when you boot up, it should go straight into Microsoft Windows. Right? Thank you for watching and have a great day.